May we be seated, please? His Excellency Chief Nyesom Ezenwa Wike, CON, GSSRS, Life Bencher, Executive Governor of Rivers State. My Lord, Honorable Justice Simeon Chibuzo Amadi, Chief Judge of Rivers State. Right Honorable Ikwi Owaji Ibani, KSC, DSSRS, Speaker, Rivers State House of Assembly. My Lord Honorable Justice Mary Peter Odili, JSC retired. My Lord Justices of the Court of Appeal, Port Harcourt here present. My Lord the Chief Judge of Bayelsa State, Honorable Justice Kate Abiri. My Lord Honorable Justice Ihem Nacho Wilfred Obuzo, the President, Customary Court of Appeal, Rivers State. Your Lordships, Judges of the Federal High Court and the National Industrial Court, Rivers State. Your Lordships, Judges of the High Court and Customary Court of Appeal, Rivers State. Your Lordships, former Chief Judges and retired Judges of the High Court of Rivers State and other jurisdiction here present. The Honorable Attorney General and Commissioner for Justice, Rivers State, Professor Zacchaeus Adango, SAN. Bello Adoki, SAN, former Attorney General of the Federation. The Secretary to the Rivers State Government, Dr. Tammy W. Danagogo. The Head of Service, Rivers State, Rufus N. Godwins, Esquire. Members of the State Executive Council here present, learned senior advocates of Nigeria, the Secretary present, staff of the Rivers State Judiciary, gentlemen of the press, ladies and gentlemen, we are here today for our age-long tradition of the Special Court section to mark the opening of the legal year for this year, 2022 and 2023 legal year. And as is conventional, we shall be taking addresses in the following order. First, we'll hear the address of the Nigerian Bar Association, to be taken by the Chairman of the Nigerian Bar Association Port Harcourt Branch, Victor Benebo Esquire. Thereafter, we'll hear from the Body of Senior Advocates of Nigeria, to be taken by OCJ Okocha, SAN, MFR, DSSRS, JP. Thereafter, we'll take the address of the Honorable Attorney General and Commissioner for Justice, Professor Zacchaeus Adango, SAN. Then we'll hear from the Judiciary, to be taken by the Honorable the Chief Judge of Rivers State, Honorable Justice Simeon Chibuzo Amadi. Thereafter, we'll take the address and goodwill message of His Excellency Chief Ezenwa Nyesom Wike, CON, GSSRS, Life Bencher, Governor of Rivers State. Without much ado, we shall go directly to the addresses. With your leave, my Lord, I'll call on the Chairman of NBA Port Harcourt Branch to deliver the address of the NBA. Victor Benebo Esquire, please. Thank you.
My Lord, Honorable Chief Judge of Rivers State and Chairman of Section, Honorable Justice Simeon C. Amadi, the Governor of Rivers State, His Excellency, the Governor of Rivers State, His Excellency Chief Barrister Nyesom Ezenwa Wike, CON, GSSRS, POS Africa, Life Venture, Chairman of G5 Governors Integrity. May I most humbly at this stage enlist the cooperation of my Lord, this Honorable CJ, to adopt the list of protocol already established here. I consider English in this auspicious time To address, sorry, I'm just a speaker, please. I'm sorry, my lord. I am privileged in this auspicious time to address a team of jurists, legal minds, and intellectual icons in this section on behalf of Port Harcourt branch of the Nigerian Administration. I don't know what's happening. To open the 2022/2023 legal year. Our branch does not consider this section as annual ritual, but sees this as an opportunity to interrogate issues germane to improve not only justice delivery, but access to justice. We intend to appraise, commend, or add up when necessary to improve culture and the judicature, of course, and a slant bias on the judiciary where we daily toil for sustenance. We shall make recommendations where possible for your lordship as chairman of the highest principal in the judiciary in Rivers State, who often becomes vicariously responsible for certain acts of the judiciary. May I take the liberty to congratulate your lordship on elevation to this exalted seat of Rivers State on the basis of which your lordship presides in this section. Yes, perhaps it is belated to do so, considering that you were sworn in on the 26th day of May 2021, making you the ninth Chief Judge of Rivers State, but it is fitting to do so for better or more important reasons on the manifest and salient achievements of your administration within 1 year and 6 months since assumption of office. Your lordship, it appears you have a listening ear, and judges in Rivers State seemingly are part of your administration. This is evident in the harmonious relationship between the bar and the bench. The branch and others too. The serene atmosphere we enjoy in the judiciary today is highly commendable. May we also take the liberty to congratulate our dear colleagues who distinguished themselves by turning the exalted ranks of senior advocates of Nigeria. This time there are 5 in number, all of them very illustrious and distinguished in this profession. Your lordship, as Chief Judge of Rivers State, in all situations, you should deserve our further commendation, where your lordship shows commitment to observe and rely substantially on the recommendation of inputs from the bar for appointments of judicial officers to the Rivers State Judiciary. This is how it should be, and for better reasons, we know members of the bar better. We are made to believe that letters to our branch inviting our input to appointment of judicial officers often get to us subsequent after nominations have been concluded. This, you have changed the trend. We commend your lordship for this too. However, what is worrisome is the non-featuring of some dedicated magistrates who have lived and discharged their duties diligently. It is very frustrating and embarrassing for us and them, and we therefore urge you to look at their plight dispassionately. Your lordship, our branch humbly disagrees with the Judicial Service Commission's approach in employment of or appointment of members into the lower bench, the cradle and foundation of adjudication amongst the most vulnerable stratum of the society. Such appointments should be on merit. Some of the litigants or parties in this court may not have entered any court previously, and a negative experience in such courts may become inalienable and a bad one for the rest of their litigious life. They may think that it is so in the High Court. There are some magistrates in some magistral districts that don't add up at all. It is sad that a certain magistrate does not know whether an order he made in the course of proceedings is a judgment or a ruling. And some of the magistrates are wanting in self-discipline, just like many of our legal practitioners. This indeed is a very sad commentary. The branch resolved to approach your lordship on this. There's also a judge of the High Court who presides mostly on matrimonial matters, and even when such matters are for settlement between the parties, the judge is always confused on the procedure to adopt and end up insulting and abusing counsel. There are also other judges where valuable man hours are lost because such judges turn themselves into erudite professors in the courtroom. On so many occasions, my lord, the Honorable Chief Judge of Rivers State, has complained of incessant application for transfer of matters. These are the immediate causes of such applications, my lord. The branch observed that there is a marked distinction between those who had a stint in legal practice before their appointment as magistrate and judges, in contrast distinction to those who did not. It is our view that any lawyer who has not practiced for at least 2 years be posted to the registry to serve for some years preceding his appointment as magistrate. This should be without prejudice to the age of one's call. Your lordship, we emphasize the point that we have no problem with judicial officers who recently got elevated, and any comment relating thereto is that of commendation, and we specifically recognize and commend some judges. I am tempted to mention names of those who have done so well to the admiration of the bar, except that I have to restrain myself. We thank them for their industry and commitment to the tenets of their oath of office as judicial officers, accepting that they were too prudent or frugal in award of damages in obvious breach of fundamental rights against the reckless and brazen conduct of the police and the unknown troublers of our state, of our dear state. The prudence of our judicial officers in assessment and award of damages is in obvious breaches against the police for violating the fundamental rights of innocent citizens promotes and encourages recklessness on the part of the police within the Rivers State. This constitutes serious threat to practitioners, even when lawyers are often detained by police with impunity. This is so because even suits filed against the police do not deter them for reasons that the sum awarded in the judgment are too meager or economical to be enforced. As the cost of executing the judgment against the police may be more than the sum awarded, and such judgment remain unenforceable. The situation further creates arrogance from the divisional police officers, who oftentimes dare lawyers soliciting the release of innocent persons detained by the police to go to court. Only few magistrates in Port Harcourt ever dares or attempts to inspect the police cells in compliance with the administration of criminal justice law of Rivers State. Some may be detained, having showed manifest compromises. We should remember the story of the Titanic ship. May I seize the liberty to commend the untiring effort of His Worship, Eliada Brown, the engine room and secretary of the Administration of Criminal Justice Monitoring Committee, Rivers State. She has just done so well. In the same vein, we commend judges like Honorable Justice Opufar Ben White, Honorable Justice Daketima Gabriel, and Honorable Justice Basam Okobule, sitting in Ishoko, Bori, and Degama High Court of Justice, respectively. They have clearly and manifestly shown capacity in award of damages against the police and security agencies. Though too early to commend them, but having known them over a decade, their commendation is not misplaced. We assure your lordship that we shall give them our appropriate support. The success of judges in performance of their judicial functions has a proportional and corresponding relationship with the responsiveness of members of the bar. The implication of this is that a vibrant bar will promote or encourage a vibrant and dependable judiciary. The bar and the bench relationship is thus emphasized. We are hereby challenging our members to contribute to the building of a dependable judiciary by promoting an active bar, ensuring mutual cooperation, respect amongst ourselves, especially with our judicial officers, shun vices of capable of impeaching members of the bar against judicial officers. We want to assure your lordship that members of our branch have been admonished in respect of rules of our professional conduct, including strict adherence to dressing, manifest courtesy to judicial officers and magistrates. It is urged that members of the bar who attires in breach of appropriate dressing code should not be granted audience in court. Members of the bar are encouraged to take objections to appearance of such dressing. Of course, it should not be a ground for granting adjournment in favor of such a delinquent counsel. The bar should be wary and conscious of how we conduct our matters in court. The judicial officers and magistrates should exercise restraint in invoking their inherent powers to commit legal practitioners who appear before them for contempt. Your lordship, we are aware that judges of superior courts have inherent powers to punish for contempt where the conduct of a person interferes with due administration of justice in the court. May we humbly draw your lordship's attention to the case of Omajaye versus Omaro. It is reported in 1999, 8 Nigerian Weekly Law Report, Part 614, page 178 at 180. The power to commit for contempt is manifestly necessary for the proper administration of justice, but never to be invoked for the vindication of a judge. Where the judges feel he is personally scandalized other than the court itself, it is clearly open to him to initiate an action for libel. The power to commit for contempt should be viewed as a lethal weapon of last resort and to be invoked sparingly and for the interest of good administration of justice. This displays the latitude given to journalists, reviewers, and commentators on concluded judgment handed by the court. It is humbly urged that in all situations, the court should employ other possible coercive powers, including award of cost, indicting a lawyer on the records of the court, or barring him from appearing before same court generally or specifically on the same matter. This indeed is good punishment. In extreme cases, where the court strongly feels that there is no option other than committing a legal practitioner to correctional center, it is urged that upon pronouncement of such order for contempt, bail should be granted to the practitioner and a date be fixed for the complainant to show cause why he should not be committed to the correctional center. the court may so to refer the practitioner to the disciplinary committee of the Nigerian Bar Association for disciplinary action. The Nigerian Bar Association has internal instrument or mechanism for dealing with erring members of the bar. Your Lordship, our attention is again invited to the recent introduction of e-filing into our system. No doubt, it is a very welcome development, and we commend all the actors who have brought about its actualization. But in order to make it a better platform, we need to do something about a few challenges associated with the platform. These are the issue of service charge of 1,000 naira does not take into reality the contemporary economic sociology of Rivers State. For instance, it beats common sense that a service charge will be costlier than the process being filed. My Lord, in the last colloquium for the amendment of the civil rules of the High Court, it was recently suggested that the sum of 200 naira is better. So I think that suggestion is fair enough. We have also observed with concern that processes are sometimes assigned to court officials who are on annual or compassionate leave. This also contributes to the delay on the Relief Committee's platform. Processes should be assigned to court officials who are not on leave. There is need to be channels of communication on such matters between relevant offices to put a stop to this recurring problem. Many lawyers have also reported instances where certain registrars delay working on processes for days. Some have even alleged that money, I wouldn't dare call it a bribe, is paid to facilitate working on such processes. I propose that a supervisory and compliant body be created for over such processes filed on the Relief Committee's platform. That way, necessary delays will be quickly noticed and adequately taken care of. And lawyers will also report such delays. We also have a less recurring problem of making payments and same not being reflected on the platform. This further portrays my point why we need a complaint body. If we want to go digital, then we have to do so all the way, so that lawyers and litigants may simply make that complaint with the push of a button or via a phone call to the customer care service without necessarily bombarding the ICT center. We have also reports where processes sent to out-of-jurisdiction court officials. For instance, a council files a process in Port Harcourt Judicial Division or Magistrate District only for the platform to assign the case to officials in Buhari. This brings a lot of complications in the speedy processing of the process file. There also exists multiplicity of charge numbers in criminal matters whenever an amendment is sought. What this means is that when you amend a criminal charge, the original number will be replaced with a totally new number. This is not a very good situation for us in criminal trials. This has created a lot of confusion. Your Lordship, the contemporary reality of our time is that it is time for us to decentralize the probate service by creating departments in places like Buhari, Okeyi, Ishoku, and Oyibo judicial divisions, even if it is with limited or defined probate services to aid initiating applications for letters of administrations. This will obviate the challenges of deceased families traveling all the way from those places to Port Harcourt solely for the purpose of initiating applications for letters of administration. This is our passionate appeal, and where possible, may it be urgently done so too. Furthermore, there is a dearth of Rivers State laws, and these laws, unlike other states, even the soft copies of this cannot be found or accessed in the internet platform. And we urgently urge a reprint of these laws to avail the legal community thereof, and for the laws to be accessible in the internet platform. We are also happy that the Attorney General and Commissioner for Justice, who is also the Chief Law Officer of the state, is here. The Attorney General is a member of our branch. We commend him for several assistance he has rendered to our branch. Your Lordship, permit me to borrow a minute or two to talk about our governor and his relationship with the judiciary / general legal practice. Your Excellency, this ceremony will be incomplete if I do not take a moment to thank you for all you have done for the judiciary and legal practice in the state. This is your last opening of legal year ceremony with us as governor, and I wish to say that we feel a sense of apprehensiveness for what the relationship between the government house and the legal practice holds in future. Having enjoyed a very peaceful relationship with you these past 8 years, we know God will never forsake this state. He will give us a governor who will do better than his predecessors. Without falling into partisan politics, as the NBA must always remain non-partisan, permit me to mention some of the achievements of the governor in this area. The remodeling and commissioning of the Court of Appeal building, Port Harcourt, which is the best in the country. The construction and commissioning of the Federal High Court, of Justice building, Port Harcourt, still the best in the country. The construction and commission of the National Industrial Court building, Port Harcourt, the best in the country. The construction of what promises to be another best, the new Magistrate Court building complex, Port Harcourt. The construction of the new and eye-catching Justice Mary Odili Judicial Institute complex, River State. As if that is not enough, our dogged governor has built the best law school campus in Nigeria and Africa. Show me the best law school building in Africa, and I'll probably show you Nabo Graham Douglas Nigeria Law School Port Harcourt campus. Housing accommodation for judges of the Federal Judicial Officers, High Court, and Customary Court of Appeal is settled. We also pray that this kind gesture should be equally extended to our magistrates. Not so long, a magistrate was dragged to the court, a retired magistrate was dragged to the court just because of inability to pay rent. And this has caused a lot of hardship for that magistrate. So we pray that Your Excellency looks into this before you finally exit. Changing of the cast of our judicial officer as at when due, you have done so well. Federal Judicial Service Commission Liaison Office Building, South in Port Harcourt. Thank you, Your Excellency. We must not forget the monetary gift just a few weeks ago, about 3 weeks ago, of 50 million naira each to the remaining 4 branches of the Nigerian ambassador in River State, namely Buhari, Degema, Ahoda, and Ishoko, that had previously not benefited from the grant from the River State government towards the building, but you have just done so. Your Excellency, we thank you very much. And finally, that magnificent building, edified style MBA house, Port Harcourt branch, coupled with its accompanying C of O, that's a particular occupancy. For want of time, let me stop here. Your Excellency, I know I haven't named all you have done in our common field of law, but I want you, in your private time, to reflect on this scene from the Bible between Jesus Christ and the Pharisees in Luke's Gospel, chapter 19, verse 37 to 40, and I quote, "As Jesus approached the road leading down from the Mount of Olives, the whole trunk of his disciples began rejoicing. They praised God with a loud voice because of all the mighty things they had seen. They said, 'Blessings on the King who comes in the name of the Lord, peace in heaven and glory in the highest heavens.' Some of the Pharisees from the crowd said to Jesus, 'Teacher, scold your disciples, tell them to stop.' And he answered, 'I tell you, if they were silent, the stones would shout.' So, Your Excellency, if I have forgotten anything you have done for the judiciary or for the bar, or if your critics want me to skip all you have done in this state, do not worry. Every flyover, every road, every building, every stone, every sand, which you have beautified our state, making it an envy of others, will sing your praises forever. It is not I who has said so, it is a scripture." And to my gracious listener, be assured that this is not a political speech. We have a governor. If we have a new governor today, and if he or she proves himself or herself to be as ebullient as Governor Wike, I will say the same thing and more. This is just a word of gratitude for a man who has done so much and so well. Your Excellency, I must also mention the unprecedented, indeed unmatched friendly relationship between the executive and the judiciary under your watch. We have abandoned to the histories of River State, a time where the judiciary and the executive were at loggerheads. Thank you, sir, for the peaceful atmosphere. Your Excellency, the bar wants you to live with a bank. So let me kindly suggest how best you can do that. Sir, provide a digital recording system for our courts, as we have across the fence at the Federal High Court, and across the border in Bayelsa State High Court. This will expedite court proceedings and save our judges a lot of health challenges associated with recording by longhand for hours. Your Excellency, if you can achieve this before you leave, your name will be written on stone forever. Perhaps you can take a hint from the 2009/2010 legal year, where cards were provided for members of the customary court. We have 14 lawyers members in addition to 32 non-lawyers members, making it a total of 42 members. I know what I have, that having suggested this, I believe what you can do. And now my final and last request, Your Excellency. A very sad tragedy happened in our MBA house. Our elevator almost claimed the life of 2 of our colleagues because it is in dire need of repairs. And we have taken steps to repair it on several occasions, only to be faced with more problems shortly thereafter. It is now clear that to bring it to its usable state and the cost is even above our means. Our leader cannot longer go to the senior lawyers' lounge The 26th president can no longer go there. Each time after the meeting, they exit from the ground floor. Your Excellency, permit me to say, you kindly help us with a replacement with an notice elevator. We will appreciate you forever. We know you have done enough for us, and we are proud that when we have nowhere else to turn to, your door is always open for us. Thank you in advance, because we are sure it's already done. It is my prayers for you on behalf of the board that as you leave office to pursue other greater endeavors in life, that the good Lord will continue to light your path and strengthen you and your family. And above all, you are always blessed in Jesus' name. Amen. It is my hope that where the issues we have raised here are urgently considered or reviewed, there shall be easy access to justice, and the judiciary shall only be seen to have fully activated itself and rekindle the hope of our people in the judiciary as the last hope of the common man. Thank you, my Lord. I'm very grateful for this.
Thank you, Learned Chairman Victor Benebo, for that ad.
Yes, so amazing Wike, Commander of the Order of the Niger, Grand Service Star of Rivers State, Life Venture. My Lord, the Honorable the Chief Judge of Rivers State, my Lord, the Honorable the President of the Customary Court of Appeal of Rivers State, Your Excellencies, my Lords, ladies and gentlemen, we have instructions to shorten the protocol as ordered by my Lord the Chief Judge. But may I, with the greatest respect and on behalf of the body of senior advocates of Nigeria, congratulate my Lord, the Honorable the Chief Judge, and your Lordships, your Worships, and your Honors, all of the Rivers State Judiciary, and all the other staff of the Judiciary on the happy celebration of the opening of the 2022/2023 legal year of the Rivers State Judiciary. It is significant that we have all attended a divine and solemn service earlier today at the St. Paul's Anglican Cathedral, Jobu, Port Harcourt, where we had witnessed your Lordships, your Worships, and your Honors rededicate yourselves jointly and severally to continue with the dedicated services which you render in the administration of justice through the courts. The open declarations which you all made before the Almighty and Eternal God should again remind you all of the solemn oaths which you all severally swore before the commencement of your duties, to discharge your duties and functions honestly and to the best of your several abilities, faithfully and in accordance with the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria and the law. I humbly encourage you and perform your functions under what can be said to be invidious circumstances and rather poor conditions of service. There seems to be hope, however, as no less a person than His Excellency Muhammadu Buhari, President, Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, has promised to ensure that something good is done about the salaries and emoluments payable to judicial officers. I always advocated that the states should be allowed to determine the number of judges and magistrates that they require, not for the NJC sitting there in Abuja to dictate for the states how many judges they need, such that some states, which have very few cases before their high courts and in their dockets, will be told, go ahead and appoint as many as they can, while those states like Lagos, Rivers, and Delta, whose dockets, indeed, the cost list of one High Court judge in Rivers State is more than the cost list of the entire judiciary in one or two other states that I know of. They should allow Rivers and Lagos and Delta states to operate without these restrictions so that, as I said earlier, more men and more women can be put on the job. That is the only way to decongest the courts. One judge cannot do 5,000 cases, not in 1 year, not in 20 years. But we need more judges, and I hope that those who will hear will hear. Now it seems to me that all is not as gloomy as some of us have been made to believe, especially here in Rivers State. As we all are aware that our governor, His Excellency Nyesom Wike, CON, GSSRS, Life Venture, has done so much to ensure that the judiciary in Rivers State is well funded. Legal education, when I had the privilege of attending the Nigerian Law School at Lagos. I think, okay, you also benefited from that. He was your chairman. Now, let me say, my Lord, on a rather happy note, that we, the body of senior advocates of Nigeria, pledge our continued cooperation and support in the administration of justice and maintenance and enforcement of law and order. I am delighted to announce that our eminent number here in Rivers State had in the last legal year been improved by the addition of 9 more senior advocates of Nigeria, with apologies to my chairman. This year, we have 1, JTO Uboduma Esquire, D.I. Iboroma Esquire, L.S. Okojaja Esquire, TJT Krukrubo Esquire, and D.O. Okoro Esquire. These 5 are all to be sworn in as such, Deo Volente, on Monday, the 28th day of November 2022 at the Supreme Court in Abuja. I humbly urge us all to congratulate them and to wish them every success in their continued practice of law as distinguished members of the INA Bar. My Lord, the Honorable Chief Judge, within the last legal year, the High Court of Rivers State has also been increased in its strength with the new judges that were appointed and sworn in during the year. So also was the strength of the magistrates increased by the new magistrates that were appointed and sworn in. We wish them very well while we await more of such appointments in future. A point needs to be made here, my Lord, about the customary courts in Rivers State, where some of the customary courts do not have full panels. Let us hope that in this legal year, the strength of the customary courts will also be increased so that we all may have full panels for those of us who appear before customary courts. My Lord, the Honorable Chief Judge, my Lords, Your Excellencies, I conclude by wishing your Lordships, your Worships, your honors, and the entirety of the Rivers State Judiciary, and indeed all of us, a very successful 2022-2023 legal year. I thank you all for listening, and I pray that the Almighty and Eternal God may continue to bless us all. Amen.
Thank you, Leonard S.A. May I now invite the Honorable Attorney General and Commissioner for Justice, Professor Zacchaeus Adango, SAN, to deliver the address on behalf of the Ministry of Justice.
Your Excellency, Nyesom Wike, CON, GSSRS, Life Venture, Governor of Rivers State. My Lord, the Honorable Justice Simeon Chibuza Amadi, Chief Judge of Rivers State, my Lord, the President of the Rivers State Customary Court of Appeal, my Lord, Honorable Justice Mary Peter Odili, Justice of the Supreme Court retired, please permit me to adopt every other protocol already well set out. May I, on behalf of the official bar, join my noble Lord, the Honorable the Chief Judge of Rivers State, and his brother judges, their worships and their honors, and the entire staff of the Rivers State Judiciary to welcome His Excellency to this formal opening ceremony of the 2022-2023 legal year. As I indicated in my address, delivered at the opening of the 2020-2021 legal year of the River State Judiciary. Historically, the legal year opening ceremony, which dates back to the Middle Ages, is a solemn occasion at which members of the bench and bar not only reaffirm their unwavering commitment to the effective, efficient, and speedy administration of justice within their jurisdiction, but also identify impediments to the administration of justice. When Oliver Wendell Holmes, Jr. declared in his famous 1897 realist theory of law that, quote, the prophecies of what the court will do in fact, and not in more pretensions, are what I mean by law, unquote. He was indeed saying that given the centrality and indispensability of law to the existence of an ordered society, that branch of government, which is constitutionally empowered to declare what the law is on any matter in dispute between parties, and indeed between citizens and government, or between tiers of government, deserves protection by all of us, especially members of the noble profession of law. And the Supreme Court in Hussaini against Muhammad re-emphasized this point when Nguta JSC of blessed memory, citation supplied, declared, and I quote him, it is the duty of learned counsel, notwithstanding his side of the divide, to guide and protect the integrity of the court with the wrapped around security of a mother hen over his chicken. Any aspersion, expressed or implied, cast on the court by any counsel reflects adversely on that counsel. To be sure, the duty placed on us, especially members of the legal profession, to defend, protect, and preserve the integrity and authority of the court does not inure to the benefit of judicial officers and magistrates. It rather inures to the benefit of the institution of the court itself, whose adjudicatory role is critical to the protection of civil liberties and the preservation of peace and order. Therefore, when members of the bar, wittingly or unwittingly, lend support or even champion vicious attack on the institution of the court, and unimaginable damage is done to the preservation of law and order and the stability of our federation. While it is not the position of the official bar that judicial officers and magistrates who engage in unethical conduct should be spared, the point being made is that unguided and generalized denigration of judicial officers, including justices of the Supreme Court, by members of the bar, including some of its leaders, is unhealthy and dangerous to the sustainability of our fledgling constitutional democracy. As such attacks drain the confidence and trust of our people in the judicial process, thereby rendering resort to self-help an attractive option. It is our respectful view that not even the commission of a passive error, whether of law or filed by a court, can justify a verbal attack on a judicial officer. After all, the Supreme Court has held in Dayo against Ogunoya, Saturday Supply, that, quote, courts have jurisdiction to be wrong in law. And I repeat, courts have jurisdiction to be wrong in law, and that is why provisions are made in the Constitution for hearing appeals on points of law. Therefore, even if a court is perceived to have erred in law, there is no juridical basis for attacking the court. That is sacrilegious. My noble Lord, on this auspicious occasion of the opening of the 2022-2023 legal year, we celebrate your lordships and your honors and your worships and members of the support staff of Judiciary for your dedication to effective, efficient, and speedy administration of justice without fear or favor, affection, or ill will. Activities of the River State Minister of Justice. As we are aware, the River State Minister of Justice is an institutional stakeholder in the justice sector. It has continued to partner with the River State Judiciary in improving the administration of justice in the state, particularly ensuring effective implementation of the River State Administration of Criminal Justice Law No. 7 of 2015. The plea bargain procedure which we activated pursuant to Section 277 of the River State Administration of Criminal Justice Law has been embraced by many legal practitioners. From available record, the Office of the Director of Public Prosecutions of River State has concluded 19 criminal matters through the plea bargain procedure since its launch, and this has also contributed to the congestion of our prisons. Following the opening of the Register of Sexual Offenders at the Ministry of Justice, pursuant to Section 1, subsection 4B of the River State Violence Against Persons Prohibition Law of 2020, as amended, the names and particulars of 19 sexual offenses convicts have been entered in the Register of Sexual Offenders, and that register is open to public inspection in accordance with Section 1, subsection 5 of that law. With respect to criminal prosecution, which is the core mandate of the DPP's office, a total of 693 criminal case files were received from the Office of the Chief Registrar of River State during the period under review. Legal advice has been rendered in 569 of these cases, and we have successfully filed information in 301 of these cases. In terms of prosecution, we concluded 116 matters during the period under review. The practice of vetting and approving legal advice by the Honorable Attorney General is on course, and same as minimize the ugly incident of compromise and unethical conduct in rendering legal advice by law officers. We note with grave concern the growing number of applications directed to the Attorney General by legal practitioners for review or sometimes rejection of legal advice duly issued by the office of the Honorable Attorney General. Clearly, an application for review of legal advice runs contrary to the letters and spirit of Section 105 sub 3 of the Rivers Administration of Criminal Justice Law, which prescribes unambiguously that, quote, the legal advice issued by the Office of Attorney General with respect to an offense, tribal on information, or a person is conclusive, unquote. It is our respectful opinion that the word conclusive within the meaning of that subsection is coterminous with the word final, which implies that the legal advice once rendered and dispatched to the relevant court is beyond review, reconsideration, or re-examination by the Attorney General, the DPP, or any staff of the DPP's office. It is not possible. Given the perennial delay in the conclusion of criminal matters in our courts, arising partly from the anachronistic procedure of trial within trial, which has been abolished in the Magistrate Court in Rivers State by virtue of paragraph 3J of the Magistrate Courts of Rivers State, Practice Direction number 1 of 2020, it is suggested that your Lordship, the Honorable Chief Judge, should issue a practice direction for the High Court of Rivers State abolishing trial within trial in criminal matters in terms of paragraph 3J of the practice direction aforecited. Such practice direction is already in operation in some states of the Federation, including Abia and Ekiti State. See, for instance, paragraph 3 and 4 of the practice direction of the High Court of Abia State 2020, and the judgment of the Court of Appeal, Owerri Division, in Uchenna against State, which upheld the constitutionality of that practice direction. During the period under review, a total of 70 fiat applications were granted by the Honorable Attorney General of Rivers State in favor of private legal practitioners to undertake criminal prosecution on behalf of the state at no financial cost to the state. In terms of civil matters, a total of 208 fresh suits, including appeals, were instituted by and against government during the period under review, and we've recovered about 37 judgments in these matters. The grant of consent by the Honorable Attorney General in respect of land transactions has continued to enjoy special attention as part of the policy of the Rivers State government in improving the ease of doing business in our state. A total of 327 consents were signed by the Attorney General during the period under review. And as at the time of writing this report yesterday, there was no pending application for consent on the table of Attorney General. The Directorate for Citizens' Rights offers pro bono services by assisting disputing parties to resolve their differences through mediation. During the period under review, a total of 115 matters were handled by that directorate, out of which 54 were successfully resolved. The Department of Public Defender also offers pro bono services in criminal matters for indigent defendants. During the period under review, 8 matters were successfully handled by that department. The only revenue-generating department in the entire ministry is the Office of Administrator General and Public Trustee of Rivers State. During the period under review, that department generated 16,289,450 naira, which have been duly paid to Rivers State Government Treasury. The Administrator General and Public Trustee received a total of 1,193 applications for surrender of 8 states for administration. So far, 327 letters of administration have been issued by the probate registrar in favor of the Administrator General. Training of law officers. During the period under review, the Rivers State government has sponsored 7 law officers in the Department of Legal Drafting for training legislative drafting at the Nigerian Institute of Advanced Legal Studies, Lagos, for the Matan 2021-2022 and 2022-2023 academic sessions. Similarly, 10 law officers were sponsored to attend an advanced course in practice and procedure at the Nigerian Institute of Advanced Legal Studies, which held from 8 to 10 November 2022. Furthermore, 34 law officers in the Department of Public Prosecution attended the 4th Annual Criminal Law Review Conference 2021, organized by the Rule of Law Foundation. Minister of Justice Library. During the period under review, the Attorney General has obtained the approval of His Excellency in principle to stock the law library to the tune of 16,200,000 naira, and effort has been made to ensure that that is implemented. Support for the MBA. The Office of the Attorney General is indeed the link between Rivers State government and the 8 branches of the Nigerian Bar Association of Rivers State. In furtherance of his role, that office facilitated the release of 50 million naira to each of 3 branches, namely OKE, Okrika, and Nomok, in January 2019 for the construction of their branch secretariat. However, and I say this with deepest sense of responsibility, it is indeed disheartening to observe that almost 4 years after the release of the said money, none of these 3 branches has completed construction of its branch secretariat. This is indeed a sad commentary on the leadership and governance of our branches of the NBA. In spite of the obvious failure of the above 3 branches, the governor has nevertheless released another sum of 200,000 naira, that is 50 million, 200 million, that is 50 million to each branches of Degema, Ahoda, Ishiokbo, and Bori. It is our fervent prayer, and we are praying very fervently, that these 4 branches will utilize this fund judiciously and transparently for the purpose for which it is meant. Appreciation. Let me, in concluding this short address, which is obviously our last legal year address as the Chief Law Officer of Rivers State, express our profound gratitude to His Excellency the Governor of Rivers State for finding us worthy of the honor of appointment as Attorney General of Rivers State. Through this undeserved honor, we have been pulled out of obscurity to a seeming level of limelight. My family and I owe Your Excellency and your lovely family an eternal debt of gratitude. Thank you, sir, my boss. May I also convey the most sincere appreciation of the law officers and entire staff of the Rivers State Ministry of Justice to Your Excellency for the unprecedented support the Minister has enjoyed from your administration. We are indeed very grateful. Our gratitude also goes to members of the bench and the bar for the robust partnership in improving the administration of justice in our state. To all our staff in the Rivers State Ministry of Justice, we are thankful and grateful for your commitment, although there is still a lot of work and improvement to be done. Finally, to God Almighty, without whom nothing is possible, we return our sincere thanks and gratitude. Thank you, and may it please the Honorable Court.
Thank you, Honorable Attorney General and Commissioner for Justice, Rivers State, for your address. We will now take the address of the Rivers State Judiciary. May I invite the Honorable the Chief Judge of Rivers State, Honorable Justice Simeon Chibuzo Amadi, to deliver his address. My Lord, please.
Your Excellency, Chief Nyesom is the one Wike, CON, GSSRS, Live Venture, Executive Governor of Rivers State. Right Honorable Ikuyin Owaji Ibani, DSSRS, Speaker, Rivers State House of Assembly. Your Lordships, Justices of the Court of Appeal, Port Harcourt Division, here present. Your Lordship, Honorable Justice Mary Peter Odili, Justice of the Supreme Court, retired. The Chief Judge of Bayelsa State, Honorable Justice Kate Abiri. Your Lordship, Honorable Joseph Zacchaeus Adango, SAN. The Secretary to the Rivers State Government, Dr. Tammy Danagogo. The Head of Service, Rufus N. Godwin's Esquire. Members of the State Executive Council present here, learned senior advocates of Nigeria, the Secretary and members of the Rivers State Judicial Service Commission, the Chief Registrar of the High Court, the Chief Registrar of the Customary Court of Appeal, the Deputy Chief Registrars of the High Court and Customary Court of Appeal, the Chief Magistrate Administration High Court of Rivers State, Director Multi-Door Courthouse Rivers State, your Worships, learned magistrates, Chairmen and members of the Customary Courts Rivers State, Chairmen and members of the 9 branches of the Nigerian Bar Association Rivers State, that's Ahoda, Bori, Degema, Ishiokbo, Okenyi, Omok, Okrika, and Port Harcourt branches. Our respected Royal Highnesses, Chiefs, and opinion leaders present, staff of the Rivers State Judiciary, gentlemen of the press, ladies and gentlemen. In consonance with the age-old tradition of our noble legal profession, this special court session is held to herald the 2022-2023 legal year of the Rivers State Judiciary. As usual, this was preceded by an interdenominational church service which was conducted at St. Paul's Cathedral, Diop, Port Harcourt, River State. I warmly welcome all and sundry to this special call session. This special call session provides occasion for stock taking, self-examination, and exposition of the problems, progress, achievements, and plan for the future in the judiciary constitutional duty in the administration of justice to all and sundry in River State and Nigeria. Obituaries. During the year under review, the bench and bar witnessed a surge of deaths. NBA Port Harcourt branch lost John U. Elaine Esquire, Anthony Ada Esquire. NBA Port Harcourt branch lost retired Chief Magistrate Albert T. Daka, Barrister Cyril Banson. NBA Port Harcourt branch lost Dada Emery, Ogu Okudele, Barinoa Moses Wefa, SAN, Ebe Omu Obuji, Moses A. Oha, Reginald Nwaka, His Royal Highness John D. Osarano, Kenneth U. Onyejako, Lucius E. Wosu, SAN, Innocent T. Amadi, SP Nnamdi Omoni, Christopher C. Opuruka. MBA Ahoda branch lost Chief Charles Udoka Ihu Amadenye, SAN, Kenka Dede Napoleon. MBA Degema branch lost O.D. George and Prince M.E. Loveday. May we rise for a minute silence in honor of the departed souls. May their gentle souls and other faithful departed rest in perfect peace in the bosom of the Lord. Amen. Of May 2021, when I assumed the duties of the Chief Judge of River State till this day, 23rd of November 2022, is a year and 6 months. I was barely 6 months in office when we held the last legal year on 11th November 2022, which may be too short to plan, strategize, and embark on unexpected, meaningful, and more impactful infrastructure and human capital development. What matters and counts in office or position is the achievement, motivation, coupled with concrete achievement within the tenure, rather than long duration or tenure in office or position. Within the past 1 year and 7 months in office, the River State Judiciary under my charge embarked on modest efforts at infrastructural and human capital development and improvement in justice delivery. I must place on record that we owe our modest achievements so far to His Excellency's release of funds to the River State Judiciary to meet her constitutional duties. Upon the painful demise of the former President of Customary Court of Appeal, Honorable Justice Christy Gabriel Nwankwo, His Excellency, pursuant to Section 281, Sub 1 of the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, 1999, as amended, on 4th of April 2022, appointed and sworn in Honorable Justice Ihem Nacho Wilfred Obuzo as the substantive President of the Customary Court of Appeal, River State, following the recommendation of the National Judicial Council, NJC, Abuja. Based on His Excellency's approval, also, the River State Judicial Service Commission recently concluded the selective process for appointment of new High Court judges of River State and Customary Court of Appeal, based on the inputs from the bench, bar, and other stakeholders in the justice delivery. We await the recommendations of the National Judicial Council in that regard. Achievements of the River State Judiciary from 11th November 2022 to date. Below are the modest achievements of the Rivers State Judiciary upon my assumption of office as the Chief Judge of Rivers State. As indicated in my last year address, the High Court and Magistrate Court building, Magistrate Court Oyibo, the staff residence, the 60 kVA generating set, case file, record books, and office equipment, properties of the Rivers State Judiciary, worth millions of naira, were destroyed or burned down during the NSA protests in October 2020. This led to the relocation of sitting of the High Court Oyibo to Port Harcourt, so also the Magistrate Court. His Excellency swiftly came to our rescue upon our passionate plea, and we are happy to inform all and sundry that the High Court building at Oyibo and others have been rebuilt and the damaged property replaced with the funds provided by His Excellency. We immensely thank His Excellency for his timely and unhesitating action. The Rivers State Administration of Criminal Justice Monitoring Council. The Rivers State Administration of Criminal Justice Monitoring Council, ACJMC, was inaugurated in collaboration with the MacArthur Foundation and FIDA Nigeria Rivers State Branch on 6th of August 2020, pursuant to Section 479, Sub 1 of the Rivers State Administration of Criminal Justice Law, number 7 of 2015. The membership is constituted from the stakeholders in criminal justice sector, the Judiciary, the Ministry of Justice, the Nigeria Police, the Nigerian Correctional Center, National Human Rights Commission, Nigerian Bar Association, Legal Aid Council of Nigeria, FIDA Nigeria, and others, with the Chief Judge of Rivers State as the chairman. The 10 important functions of the above body as provided under Section 480 of the ACJL 2015 are collectively geared towards attaining the supreme purpose of the law, to ensure that the system of administration of criminal justice in Rivers State promotes the efficient management of criminal justice institutions, speedy dispensation of justice, protection of the society from crime, and protection of the rights and interests of a suspect, defendant, or victim. The Council has recorded achievement in holding 5 statutory meetings, one of which was facilitated by the MacArthur Foundation / FIDA Nigeria and Rivers. An office space is allocated to the Council Secretariat in Block A of the High Court complex, with all the accessories and complement of staff, superintended by the Secretary, Chief Magistrate Laye Brown, an enterprising Chief Magistrate. The Rivers State government approved statutory allocation to the Rivers State Administration of Criminal Justice Council in the current 2022 budget. The Council organized training and workshop for police prosecutors in March 2020, and in April 2022, the Council, in collaboration with other stakeholders, held a one-day workshop for police and other law enforcement agencies on, I quote, practical approach to arrest and other related matters, unquote. In recognition of the pace-setting strides of the Rivers State Administration of Criminal Justice Council, the Federal Administration of Criminal Justice Monitoring Committee, at its first annual conference of ACJL states held in Abuja on 10th and 11th November 2021, awarded Rivers State the mentor status to 4 states in the South. That's Cross Rivers State, Bayelsa State, Enugu State, and Anambra State. In appreciation of the Rivers State Council for the commendable feat within a short period, the federal ACJMs gifted the Rivers State Council with a set of computer, printer, and other office accessories and stationaries. In the discharge of its mentor status mandate to the mentee states, the Rivers State Council facilitated the establishment of a standing monitoring committee in Bayelsa State, pending the proposed amendment to the Administration of Criminal Justice Law to include the omitted committee. The council engaged the media space on Rivers State Criminal Justice Management System to create and promote public awareness on the existence and functions of council and citizens' rights and obligations under the law. The Rivers State Multi-Door Courthouse. The Rivers State Multi-Door Courthouse was established pursuant to Rivers State Multi-Door Courthouse Law Number 9 of 2019. The multi-door courthouse building was constructed by the Rivers State government and inaugurated by His Excellency, the Governor of Rivers State on 14th of October 2021. Achievement of the Rivers State Multi-Door Courthouse. 1. Launching of the Volunteer Mediator Scheme, VMS, in collaboration with the Institute of Chartered Mediators and Conciliators, ICMC, Port Harcourt branch, in November 2021 to assist indigent parties resolve their disputes pro bono. 2. Settlement of cases through ADR processes. Out of 67 cases received, 37 were concluded at the center as at 9th of November 2022, with the range of duration conclusion of cases to be mostly 1 day to 3 months. That is from commencement of hearing to conclusion. 3. Promotion of the center's objectives through the media, public lectures with Ishokbo, Okehi, Omok, and Port Harcourt branches of the Nigerian Bar Association, and hosting of stakeholders meeting of the center with the representatives of the Legal Aid Council, the Mediation Center of the Rivers State Ministry of Justice, 8 branches of the NBA in Rivers State, Federation of Women Lawyers, the African Women Lawyers Association, AWAL, Chartered Institute of Arbitrators, United Kingdom, Port Harcourt Chapter, Nigerian Institute of Chartered Arbitrators, and the Institute of Chartered Mediators and Conciliators, Port Harcourt branch. 4. Hosting of 18 of international mediators from Babes Bayal University, Romania, in company of 18 of lecturers from University of Port Harcourt on a facility tour and for collaboration on 1st of April 2022. Conducting of an in-house refresher training for the Temporary Dispute Resolution Officer, DROs, the in-house neutrals, ADR experts of the center. 9. Registration of 20 arbitrators and 15 mediators/conciliators as part of the panel of neutrals of the Rivers State Multi-Door Courthouse. 7. As at 30th of September 2022, the Rivers State Multi-Door has realized a revenue of 986,884 naira only. Challenges. A major challenge of the Rivers State Multi-Door Courthouse is that a majority of the residents of Rivers State, including some lawyers, do not understand the advantages of using the Rivers State Multi-Door Courthouse as a court-connected ADR center. Some parties, mainly by the advice of their lawyers, show bad faith in the manner they relate with the Rivers State Multi-Door Courthouse when their matters are before the House. A good number, mostly the defendants/residents, fail to honor the invitation of the Rivers State Multi-Door Courthouse to attend pre-hearing and hearing sessions. Some lawyers discourage their claims in order to frustrate the efforts of the Rivers State Multi-Door Courthouse so as to return their cases, advise them to return their cases to the regular courts in order to continue the matter due to their own pecuniary benefits. There is poor utilization of the ADR center by litigants and lawyers. There is general lukewarm reception of the ADR mechanism by most litigants and their lawyers, even to the extent of frustrating referrals from the court and ADR proceedings, and they prefer resort to litigations in court. This is regrettable in a modern world, where resort to alternative dispute resolution is most part preferred to litigation. Lawyers should be reminded of their role or duty to explore, encourage, or foster alternative dispute resolution in the multi-door courthouse. See the Rule 15, Sub 3D of the Rules of Professional Conduct for Legal Practitioners, 2007. See also Section 19, Sub 1-2 of the Rivers State Multi-Door Courthouse Law, 2019. Lawyers and the public should embrace the Rivers State Multi-Door Courthouse as part of the judicial reform to fast-track cases. Rivers State Multi-Door Courthouse will assist them conclude their matters quickly. As a result, they will earn their money. To achieve this, lawyers should endeavor to properly read, understand the Rivers State Multi-Door Courthouse Law, number 9 of 2019, the practice direction, and the rules of the Multi-Door Courthouse 2021. The law enforcement agencies should particularly refer parties on matters that their investigation reports show that they are civil in nature, especially debt recovery matters. This will help the law enforcement agencies conserve their time for the prosecution of criminal cases and avoid litigation for violation of fundamental rights of parties. Establishment of the Small Claims Court of Rivers State. In order to keep pace with judicial development and actualize the establishment of Small Claims Court of Rivers State, I nominated and facilitated the Chief Registrar and Chief Magistrate Administration High Court to attend the Presidential Enabling Business Environment Council, PEBEC, 2-day training workshop in Lagos on 5th and 6th October 2022. In consonance with the policy of the federal government, I constituted a work group to brainstorm and make recommendations on the practicability of the immediate establishment of the Small Claims Court in Rivers State. On the 4th of October 2022, I inaugurated the Judicial Committee for the Small Claims Court with a mandate to birth and nurture the Small Claims Court. The Judicial Committee commenced work and produced the practice direction and handbook to sensitize the business community. The Small Claims Court was inaugurated on 4th of November 2022 with Honorable Justice C.D. Green as the chairman. Rivers State business environment shall witness a fast-tracked commercial dispute resolution mechanism that will revolutionize the business index for micro, small, and medium-sized enterprises. The move is born out of a desire to embrace innovation and reposition Rivers State Judiciary as already done in some states of Nigeria to deliver on sublime goal of efficient and effective justice delivery. The High Court of Rivers State Practice Direction number 3 and 4, 2021. To ensure quick dispensation of cases, I issued High Court of Rivers State of Nigeria Practice Directions 1. High Court of Rivers State of Nigeria Exemption of Payment of Default Fees number 3 of 2021. 2. High Court of Rivers State of Nigeria Practice Direction number 4 of 2021, requiring affidavit of non-multiplicity of suits and bail application to check foreign shopping or abuse of court processes. I also issued for Magistrate Court the Magistrate Court Criminal Trial Practice Direction number 1 of 2022. I must say what the Attorney General said, we have already started that. At the Magistrate Court, there's nothing like trial within trial. And within this legal year, that of the High Court will be done. When the NJC sent their panel to look at judges who handle corruption cases, they were in office in May 2021. I reinvigorated the structure for the amendment of the rules of the High Court of Rivers State 2010, put in place by my predecessor in office. The amendment committee, headed by Honorable Justice B.G. Depre, assiduously completed the process of amendment, of judgment, checkmating arbitrary haggling, bailiff service fee, poor attendance of the bar in bar and bench forum, e-filing of affidavits, touting, frivolous petitions, and application for transfer cases by lawyers. 2. a one-day workshop for all judges and magistrates was held on 29th of July 2022, was organized by Rivers State Judiciary in collaboration with the Investment and Security Tribunal on the theme, I quote, the role of the Investment and Security Tribunal in capital market dispute resolution in Nigeria. Swearing of Notary Public. During the year under review, a total of 43 lawyers were sworn in by me as Notary Public as recommended and approved by the Chief Justice of Nigeria. Go delivery. A total of 206 awaiting trial inmates from the Nigerian correctional facilities of Port Harcourt, Ahoda, and Degeme were either unconditionally or conditionally released from custody during the legal year. This is an exercise of my powers as the Chief Judge of Rivers State pursuant to the provisions of Section 34, Sub 1, 2, and 3 of the Rivers State Administration of Criminal Justice Law Number 7 of 2015, Section 12, Sub 4A and 7 of the Nigerian Correctional Service Act 2019, and Section 1 of the Criminal Justice Relief from Custody Special Provision Act, Laws of Federation of Nigeria 2004. At this juncture, may I congratulate MBA Port Harcourt branch for producing 5 new senior advocates this year, who shall shortly take their oath of office at the Supreme Court. Congratulations. 5, the book Understanding the Administration of Criminal Justice of Nigeria Through the Eyes of Honorable Justice Mary U. Peter Audley, JSC, CFR, and selected judgments on criminal cases from the Magistrate Court to the Supreme Court of Nigeria. This book was written by the Rivers State Judiciary in grateful attribute to the sterling contributions of Honorable Justice Mary U. Peter Audley, JSC retired, to the development of the law in Nigeria, and especially to mark her meritorious retirement from the Supreme Court of Nigeria as a proud and worthy ambassador of Rivers State Judiciary and the Rivers State. Promoting the sense of togetherness of all judicial officers serving in Rivers State. To further foster a sense of family togetherness of all justices and judges of the Federal State Judiciary in Rivers State, the Rivers State Judiciary, under my watch, on 3rd of November 2022, hosted a cocktail for Justice of Court of Appeal, Port Harcourt Division, judges of the Federal High Court, Port Harcourt, judges of the National Industrial Court, and judges of the High Court and Customary Court of Appeal, Rivers State. This singular and uncommon social event engendered familiarization, brotherhood, social interaction, and realization away from the stringent and taxing judicial duties of their lordships. We want to stop the situation where justices who serve in Port Harcourt Division and judges of Rivers State Judiciary do not know each other. They only see our names when our appeals go to them. We have known ourselves physically and by name. And what we did yielded fruit. Last time I was going to Abuja, a Justice of Court of Appeal recognized me and I recognized him. Rivers State Court, Customary Court of Appeal. The Customary Court of Appeal, Rivers State, under the President of the Court, Honorable Justice I.W. Obuzo, upon assumption of office, has outlined urgent actions to step upon to overcome challenges he inherited in order to promote and enhance administration of justice in the Customary Court of Rivers State. Due to deaths, retirement, and study leave, there exists currently a total of 16 vacancies, out of which 3 are chairmen for Ahoda East, Bonny, and Obiakpo, and 13 members for Abua, Akaboka, Choba, Egui, Bo, Ndoni, Ngo, Okuzi, Omok, Opopo, Ozozo, Romoba, and Taba. And in view of the existing warrant for establishment of customary court at One and Ogu, and proposed warrant for more customary courts in Port Harcourt, Obio, and Abuloma, there is need for employment of a total of 5 chairmen and 10 members for full complement of those courts. Very happily, His Excellency has given the River State Judicial Service the necessary official approval for filling of the vacancies by the River State Judicial Service in due course. There is also impending overhaul of the administrative setup and rules of the Customary Court of Appeal to ensure timeliness and expedition of hearing of appeal. Additional achievement of the River State Customary Court of Appeal. 1, re-roofing of the entire Customary Court of Appeal multi-court purpose. Appointment of DCR administrator and DCR litigation. Before this time, the Customary Court of Appeal was only having a chief registrar, and it was always a magistrate that had always been made chief registrar of the customary. But this time around, I thought it, chairmen of customary court are all lawyers, and therefore they should be the chief registrar of that court. There is no need for a magistrate going to the Customary Court of Appeal to be the chief registrar. Refurbishment and repair of members' car and Customary Court of Appeal buses. Increase in revenue generated from 52 million naira last year to over 107 million. Revenue leakages blocked considerably. Reintroduction of staff bus services. Introduction of ADRAP Juriscap software for judgment writing. Training of the Honorable Justice and their legal assistant on the use of the ADRAP Juriscap software for judgment writing. 8, purchase of laptop for all the Honorable Justices and their legal assistant, installation of ADRAP Juriscript software for judgment writing. Staff training, NGI workshops, seminars in Abuja, and workshop and seminar within Nigeria. Repair of fence of the customary court, Ahoda. Purchase of computer printers, US photocopies, and such protectors. Purchase of benches for various customary courts. Establishment of the pension registry. Establishment of the e-affidavit office. Remarkable increase in the number of registered customary court marriages from 410 in 2021 to 496 as of October 2022. Remarkable increase in number of customary letters of administration issued rose from 555 in 2021 to 647 as of October 2022. 17, remarkable increase in number of appeals filed within the legal year in spite of the non-sitting of some customary courts for want of personnel quorum from 86 in 2021 to 102 as of October 2022. River State Judiciary and automation of processes. River State Judiciary adopted and deployed the River State Courts Management Information System, RIF-COMIS, a platform funded by the River State government. The features of the system are wide and encompassing the registration of users, filing of cases, processes, e-payment, storage of files, e-service, record of proceedings platform on less pendis, e-affidavit, virtual/remote hearing. This beneficial innovation is not without its challenge. There is the negative attitude of some professionals and court users within the legal system against RIF-COMIS. There is noticeable lukewarm attitude by some in accepting the system and complaint of delay inherent in the e-filing due to network and human problems. The introduction of a new order of things initially comes with these observations, which will be overcome in due course with the cooperation of all stakeholders. The challenges and concerns of lawyers and court users are being seriously addressed and will be remedied. Status of cases in court. In the High Court, 1. Number of cases brought forward on 11th of October 2021, 9,898. Number of cases filed between 1st of October 2021 to 30th of September 2022, 6,932. 3. Number of cases disposed of between 1st of October 2021 and 30th of September 2022, 5,756. 4. Number of cases pending as at 30th of September 2022, 11,074 cases. Customary Court of Appeal. Cases brought forward as at 1st of October 2021, 54. Number of cases filed between 1st of October 2021 to 30th of September 2022, 229. Cases disposed of between 1st of October 2021 to 30th of September 2022, 195. Cases pending as at 30th of September 2022, 88. In the Magistrate Court, number of cases brought forward on 1st of October 2021, 14,308. 2. Number of cases filed between 1st of October 2021 to 30th of September 2022, 11,039 cases. 3. Number of cases disposed of between 1st of October 2021 to 30th of September 2022, 10,404 cases. Number of cases pending as at 30th of September 2022, 14,943 cases. 4. The customary cause. Cases brought forward as at 1st of October 2021, 3,607. Cases filed between 1st of October 2021 to 30th of September 2022, 5,084 cases. 3. Cases disposed of between 1st of October 2021 to 30th of September 2022, 809 cases. Cases pending as at 30th of September 2022, 4,275 cases. 5. Revenue Court. Number of cases brought forward on 1st of October 2021, 101 cases. Number of cases filed between 1st of October 2021 to 30th of September 2022, 136. Number of cases disposed of as at 30th of September 2022, 36. Number of cases pending as at 30th of September 2022, 201. In the Juvenile Court, number of cases brought forward as on 1st of October 2021, 116. Number of cases filed between 1st October 2021 to 30th of September 2022, 287. Number of cases disposed of as at 30th of September 2022, 250. And as at 30th of September 2022, 534 cases. The DPP cases. Number of cases brought forward on 1st of October 2021, 6,292. Number of cases filed 1st October 2021 to 30th of September 2022, 785 cases. 3. Number of cases disposed between 1st of October 2021 and 9th of September 2022, 1,472 cases. Number of cases pending as at 30th of September 2022, 5,605 cases. Revenue generation. The grand total of fees and fines generated or realized by the probate registry, deputy sheriff office, appeal register, archives and records, the High Court, Magistrate Court, and Mobile Court, and Sanitation Court within the period under review is 921,324,658 naira 38 kobo, as against 376,159,369 naira 74 kobo of the last year. This is a positive difference of an increase in revenue of 545,165,288 naira 64 kobo. The total fees and fines generated by the Customary Court of Appeal is 107,600,788 naira 4 kobo, with a positive difference of 42,470,038 naira. In effect, the total revenue generated by the Rivers State Judiciary for the current legal year, that's for the current legal year, is 1,028,925,446 naira 42 kobo. Remarkably, the increase in revenue of the High Court and Magistrate Court is largely due to stringent measures introduced by the Judiciary in revenue collection by checking diversion of fees and revenue collection and reducing affidavit racketeering, and also the apprehension and prosecution of offenders, performance and evaluation of judicial officers, and congestion of the courts. As shown in the above statistics of cases filed, pending, and disposed of during the legal year, our judges of the High Court disposed of about 5,756 cases, while that of the judges of the Customary Court of Appeal disposed 395 cases. For judges of the lower court, magistrate courts of Rivers State, their total disposed of cases stood at 10,404 cases in the last legal year. The total disposed of cases stood at 809 in the last legal year. The improved performance is attributable to the judiciary policy of allowing magistrates and judges to conclude advanced part-hard matters despite their transfer to other jurisdictions or petitions for transfer of part-hard matters at every stage, which advise to petitioner to exercise their rights of appeal after judgment if dissatisfied. This is also the advice or policy of National Judicial Council, especially in criminal cases. We have allowed judges, even if you are transferred out of Port Harcourt, cases that have reached defense stage and has gone far, you can come back to Port Harcourt to continue with cases where we still find lawyers. Some of them who know that they have bad cases, petition in writing. Why must the magistrate, a judge, continue with the cases? Please stop that. You have a right of appeal. As we all know, the attitude of some lawyers and litigants militate against productivity of the courts and dispensation of justice. Efforts of our judges to contain and minimize delay in the termination of matters are often time greeted with needless petition, frivolous application for transfer of cases, and adjournment from some lawyers and some litigants. We appeal to such legal practitioners and litigants to eschew or minimize such practice and embrace the spirit of speedy disposal of cases in court. To this end, we invite the intervention of the leadership of the bar in Rivers State to minimize this objectionable tendency of some members of the bar. The current policy and directive of the National Judicial Council and approach to issues of delay in the administration of justice and the dominant role and responsibility of judges in Nigeria for expeditious disposal of cases should be embraced by members of the bar. Several matters more than 5 years old on the court list and had directed all judges to hear and conclude them with dispatch and to treat criminal matters with utmost priority. The perennial problem of holding charges in the administration of criminal justice in magistrate court. From the statistics of criminal cases pending in our court from the Office of the Director of Public Prosecution, Ministry of Justice, our records show that 5,605 cases emanating from the surface are matters or capital offenses for which the trial magistrates do not have jurisdiction to try and are awaiting DPP's legal advice or the filing of information at the High Court. This constitutes about 40% of the 14,943 cases pending in our magistrate court, which is a reduction from the 55% increase recorded in the last year legal year. Admittedly, there is improvement as the percentage of pending DPP cases reduced from 50% of last year to about 40% at present. It is observed that legal advice are either not issued or it takes too long to issue. The consequence is congestion of the magistrate court with awaiting trial cases and the congestion of the Port Harcourt Correctional Center. In some criminal cases before the High Court, some state counsel assigned to prosecutors are tardy in prosecuting. Judges will no longer brook the pervading tardiness in the prosecution of criminal cases and do undue adjournment by defense counsel. Be reminded that Section 403 sub 3 of the Administration of Criminal Justice Law number 7 of Rivers State 2015 provides for expeditious hearing of criminal cases on day-to-day basis, subject to the court's convenience. Building of the new magistrate court complex, Port Harcourt, Rivers State. Sequel to my passionate appeal to His Excellency, the Rivers State government embarked on the construction of a new magistrate court complex, Port Harcourt, to provide courts for magistrates, most of whom share courtrooms for morning and afternoon section, and also to further decongest the High Court complex, Port Harcourt. The new magistrate court building is an imposing, solid architectural masterpiece, housing 24 court halls with chambers, court registers, court cell, canteen, and clinic. This is a permanent solution to the perennial problem of the magistracy and the judiciary as a whole in justice administration. His Excellency has made history by this achievement for finding permanent solution to this problem that has beset the judiciary for over a decade. A new High Court building, a magistrate court building, and the residential building have been constructed at Oyibo and handed over to the judiciary. We cannot thank His Excellency enough for this prompt action. Reduction in the staff strength of the judiciary and the need to fill the vacancies. Due to retirements, deaths, resignation, transfer of service, and elevation, the Rivers State judiciary workforce has suffered reduction and will be affected thereby. The judiciary staff strength as at November 2022 is 1,059 staff. A breakdown of existing or expected vacancies in the High Court of Rivers State as follows. Vacancies in the High Court, total number of staff as at 2022, as at November 2022, 1,059. Disease staff from November 2021 to 2022, 7. Staff retirement from service from November 2021 to date, 52. Staff transfer service to other establishments, 11. Total vacancies presently for staff, 70. Expected staff retirement in 2023, 43. Total expected vacancies by 2023 and new staff for new department and section, 231. Magistrates. Elevated magistrates are those elevated to the High Court, 2. Retired magistrates, 2022, 3. Expected retirement for 2023, 3. Present vacancies for magistrates, 7. Expected vacancies for magistrates by 2023, 7. Judges. Retirement for 2023, 5. By the end of this legal year, the High Court will be short of 131 staff, customary court of appeal, drivers, 5, carpenters, 15, electricians, 6, confidential secretary, 15, bailiffs, 10. Sanitation personnel, 20, messengers, 10, clerical officers, 10, expected retirement of one judge in December 2022. By the end of this year, the Customary Court of Appeal will be short of 92 staff. Your Excellency is respectfully urged to address these issues. Creation of additional judicial division of the High Court. In order to decongest the overload of cases on judicial divisions of the High Court of Rivers State and ensure speedy dispensation of justice in Rivers State, the creation of additional divisions of the High Court will be made in this legal year, subject to the approval of His Excellency. Creation of family division of the High Court of Rivers State. The family division of the High Court of Rivers State will become operational this year. The full complement of the court to be presided over a judge of the High Court have been constituted. The expenditure and requirement of the family court as captured in the approved 2022 budget of Rivers State has been released. Strengthening of administration of criminal justice relationship of the judiciary. No doubt our judiciary enjoys a healthy cooperation and cordial relationship with the entire bar in Rivers State, Port Harcourt, Ahoda, Degema, Bori, Ishokpo, Omok, Okehin, and Okrika branches. The periodic bench and bar forum within the legal year will be reinvigorated for a more rewarded exchange of ideas and concerns and solution to challenges in the administration of justice in Rivers State. We count on their continued support. I must point out that most of the things the chairman of MBA Port Harcourt branch presented here, those things are supposed to be for the bar and bench forum. It's not for public consumption. Other stakeholders. The Rivers State Judiciary enjoyed the support and cooperation of the Rivers State Police Command. There is a pleasant exchange on efficient administration of criminal justice in Rivers State between the Rivers State Judiciary and the Rivers State Police Command. In this direction, the Office of the Chief Judge and Judges of the High Court of Rivers State received in audience the new State Commissioner of Police, CP Okun Effion, and his team on 17th of November 2022, and we had fruitful exchange of ideas on how to tackle issues of crime and dispensation of justice in the state. We equally appreciate the dedication to duty and cooperation by the Nigerian Correctional Services in Rivers State and their officers in the state in the aid of administration of justice. We hope that it continues the next year. I must put on note that yesterday I embarked on gold delivery, where I discharged 22 inmates who have been there for 9 years and above. Some of them no case files. They were released yesterday. On a general note, and in recognition of pivotal roles of other stakeholders in civil and criminal justice administration, I received an audience and had interactive session with about 9 bodies or associations, the Public Complaints Commissioner, and other members of the Commission, members of the Investment and Securities Tribunal, Rivers State Multi-Door Courthouse key holders with delegation from Base Bar University, Romania, MBA Women Forum, the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission team, the Borneo Lawyers Forum, Class Forum, and Student Union Government of Rivers State University. Appreciation. We thank all and sundry for honor and invitation to this legal year ceremony. His Excellency, the Governor of Rivers State, Chief Nyesum, is the Wike, CON, GSSRS, Live Bencher, eminently deserved commendation by the Rivers State Judiciary in the discharge of the government constitutional duty to the judiciary. We cannot thank His Excellency enough for all that he has done and for all that he intends to do for Rivers State Judiciary before he goes out of office on 29th of May 2023. Your Excellency, the Rivers State Judiciary salutes your infrastructural and human capital development of Rivers State Judiciary for the past 7 years. 7 years and 7 months in office as the Governor of Rivers State. We say this in all sincerity, with a sense of nostalgia and gratitude. The judiciary embarked on cooperative analysis of the achievement of the judiciary under past military and civilian administration, and if the truth be told, Your Excellency stands as the best performer in all ramifications. This is the testimony of my two predecessors in office, that's Honorable Justice Daisy W. Okocha and Honorable Justice A.I. Iyaye Lamekra. And my brother judges can testify to that judges have where they now call their own home. Whether they retire or they are in service, no landlord will issue them any notice. No wonder it is a realization of your matchless infrastructural development and governance that Your Excellency was named Mr. Project in 2017 by the then acting president of Nigeria, Professor Yemi Osibanjo, and very recently, on 21st of October 2022, the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, President Muhammadu Buhari, GCFR, bestowed a fitting award on the Governor of Rivers State, His Excellency Nyeso Wike, of Distinguished Award in Infrastructure Delivery of the Nigerian Excellence Award in Public Service at Abuja. Once again, may we thank Your Excellency for the provision of facial accommodation to judges and justices of the Rivers State origin at federal and state judiciaries on owner-occupier basis, and funds in lieu thereof, and promotion of the general welfare of the judiciary. Lord Bryce once said, there is no better test of the excellency of a good government than the efficiency of a judicial system, unquote. I and the President of Customary Court of Appeal, Rivers State, my brother judges of the High Court and Customary Court of Appeal, the Chief Registrar, the Deputy Chief Registrar, Magistrate, Chairman and members of the Customary Courts, and the entire staff of the Rivers State Judiciary are indeed eternally grateful to Your Excellency. Some may say that you are doing your constitutional duty, but assuming you refuse to do it, what can we do? I commend the efforts of the 2022/2023 Legal Year Committee for their tireless efforts and commitment to the success of the legal year ceremonies. Above all, I thank God Almighty for His grace and mercy. God bless you all. Thank you.
That was the address of the Honorable the Chief Judge of Rivers State, Honorable Justice Simeon T. Amadi, on behalf of the Judiciary. May I now call on His Excellency Chief Nyesom Ezewon Wike, Commander of the Order of the Niger, Grand Service Star, Rivers State, Life Bencher, to deliver his address.
My Lord, the Chief Judge, let me stand on the existing protocols so that we'll be able to live here. My Lord, I had an agreement with you as I was coming. You told me you'll be traveling to Abuja, and I told you I was going to travel to Abia. And then we agreed that we would have reached time. And I suspected that you may not make it. I then offered to make sure that a plane takes you. Now, having agreed on that, now you have abandoned the agreement. And that is part of the problem in Nigeria, is to keep to agreement. My Lord, I won't take time to read my address, but I will try to explain it. MBA chairman, and then the address of the chief judge. The MBA chairman complained about sometimes appointing magistrates who are not qualified, appointing judges who are not qualified. And then I asked, I know in each appointment, MBA is meant to make comments. What are your comments? What are your comments? Your comments are always in favor. Then you come now to say, most of them are not qualified. And you have written in favor of them. So you are part of the problem we are having. Instead of you to tell people that you also had a role to play in the appointment of judges and magistrates, but you will not be bold enough. You will not be bold enough. When you see your friend in the list, comment will be favorable. When you see those, you think that you have not had, comments will not be favorable. Let us do what is right. Secondly, you talked about recording in the high courts. Tell the chief judge, every judiciary, you have your own budget. If the chief judge thinks it's necessary, then it should include it in their budget. Will I use government house budget to provide it for you? So talk to the chief judge to provide it in the budget, not the governor. You also talked about providing transformer, generator. There are things you should not even ask for. There are things lawyers should not. You say our profession is noble. Our profession is not a beggarly profession. We built that place for you. We bought generator. You raise money from there to maintain the place. You cannot. And now you come to government to buy you generator. What kind of system is that? Which lift? Even if it is lift, what about the money that you are making from there? I will not give you. You know, time has come that, listen, whether we like it or not, we must be serious. When you say lift, what's the difference between lift and generator? Lift is how much? Lift is no more than 10, 15 a million naira. So if you are talking about just maintenance, how much will it be? How much will it be? As I sat here, I was telling my colleagues, look, if there's any way to call my deputy governor to come and take over, let me just rush. Because there are things we shouldn't hear. There are serious issues which you talk about facing the judiciary. And I don't think to help you maintain your lives is a problem facing the justice sector. It can't be. It can't be. If you don't have me, the senior advocates and other senior lawyers. The Attorney General here have said money has been given to the different branches. You know, it is easy to criticize when you are not in authority. You were worrying we should give you money, you want to start your own branch, you want to build, 40 floors you want to build. Money has been given. Nobody has told us how far. Nobody. Before you know it, it will be voicemail. You see, you can criticize me as a governor. Money came. What am I doing with the money? You, where you are controlling, where you are in charge, the little that came, what have you done with it? That is how it's supposed to be. It's not only when you're a governor that you will give account. No, even as chairman of the bar, you must give an account. So, I'm going, so I have no time again. When the next governor comes, carry the problems to him. I cannot solve all the problems. If I solve all problems, then there's no need any other governor coming. There must be something remaining for other people to do. So I thank you for your common support of me. I like it. It's very sweet, but I must talk the truth. My Lord, the Chief Judge, you talk about the vacancies. You know, I was telling my Lord, my mother, Justice Buhari, that the Chief Judge is reporting me to the NDA and the entire judiciary that people are retired, they need to be employed to fill the vacancies. I didn't know this is the normal place where I give approval. Okay, now that you have said it here, people should give them approval. You said I approve for chairmen and members of Customary Court of Appeal, of Customary Court, that I have approved for employment. Is it not true? Being careful not to approve everything that comes. Very careful. And when it also gets to employment, because we have just presented our budget, and ordinarily, it should have been brought into the budget that we will employ number of these staff. And so we include it in the budget of 2023. But you did not put it. Okay. Maybe you come for supplementary budget. If it is approved, we thank God. If there has an assembly, Mr. Speaker, he's not been happy. Legally, ceremony open. Since assuming office in 2015, I participated in all the legal year opening ceremonies, which of course tells you the importance we attach to the administration of justice. Incidentally, this is the last such event being organized under my tenure as the governor of Rivers State. So it is an opportunity to say to the legal fraternity, fare thee well. However, do not forget that if our paths cross again, somewhere someday in the service of a noble profession which we most cherish, and the third arm of government were locked, and that was the end of it. We knew that the ensuing social and economic anarchy would ruin Rivers State without functional courts to uphold and defend the rule of law. Beyond the crisis, we also inherited a judiciary neglected to the health, dilapidated and inadequate courthouses, and unpaid salary arrears. Our first task was to revive the judiciary and ensure the speedy administration of justice. Without wasting time, after the oath of office, I announced the appointment of Deze Okocha as the acting chief judge of Rivers State, and then also announced the late president of the Customary Court of Appeal, Wanko, may I so rest in perfect peace, as acting president of the Customary Court of Appeal. And later, we are all confirmed as the chief judge and president of the Customary Court of Appeal. That was the first time we had a female judge, a woman, as the chief judge of Rivers State. And then we started the transformation of judiciary, which everybody can attest to today. We have to rehabilitate the existing courthouses, build new ones for the State High Court. What we also discovered was that, just like the Chief Judge said, and I can attest to that fact, and one problem has always been where when a chief judge, when a judge retires, a judicial officer retires, where does the person go to? Certainly, some of them will even stay in government quarters for more than 10 years after retirement, then depriving another judge who is coming to have an appointment, to have an apartment. And so we said, look, one of the things we will do is to set a scheme and where, as a judge, it's more important than most of the things we are looking for. If you don't have a house where Toronto, it's a major problem. It's not where your landlord will tell you, please, the judiciary has not paid me, back out. It's a big problem. I think we'll be able to solve that problem. And these days, you know, before, when you are to be appointed, one of the conditions now is that the car must be available. The houses must be available. As for those who are going for the interview that the NJC will recommend to us, the houses are there. It's not a question of when they come. The houses are there. The vehicles are there. In fact, to tell you, sometimes, I know this CJ, not even used for a kilometer from the factory. So how will you just spoil it? Except you're using it to do marketing and the rest of the thing. If it's not, how will it spoil? You know? So, but now those who are coming in now are going to be having their vehicles. And those of them who are staying in Chinwaguma Judicial Estate can attest that, look, environment is key. And those who stay along Akasa, and yes,